You looking for something?
You know, you really shouldn't sneak up on your house guests. It's rude.
Why were you looking through the closet?
It's chilly upstairs. You might not have noticed because you're practically cold-blooded, but I wanted Spinelli to be comfortable, so I came down to get him another blanket.
Why don't you try and be honest for once?
I mentioned earlier about Karpov's people being behind Spinelli's hit and run, and you got upset and left to do mysterious mob business. I heard on the news 2 Russian guys got beat up, and...
And what?
I wanted to see if your gun had been fired.
What if it had?
Obviously, I didn't have enough time to find your gun, and even if it had been fired, I wouldn't do anything.
Then why go looking for it?
Because I'm curious like that. I have a problem. I think people are really interesting and full of surprises like you. I mean, who knew that you had a designer suit that's really nice fabric?
Don't touch my stuff.
Okay. I'm kind of nosy. I'm sure you have a whole arsenal full of weapons, and I don't even want to think about what you do with those. That's another problem. I have an extremely active imagination. Feel free to say anything.
You're the police commissioner's daughter. Can you see how it compromises me to have you in my house?
But I would never give my dad any information about you, or to another cop or anything like that.
Not intentionally.
Look, Spinelli worships you, okay? And if something happened to you because of me, he would be wrecked. He'd end up blaming himself, and no matter what I would say, that wouldn't change it. So, bottom line, my lips are sealed, okay?
It would wreck Spinelli if something happened to you.
Do you think you could clarify that for me?
You think you're helping Spinelli? You're doing the opposite.
This is so unfair.
He tells you things he shouldn't tell you. You go on stakeouts with him. You barge in here with your crazy cover-up stories when he's
Don't even think about criticizing me for that. If I hadn't barged in and told Karpov's lawyers that me and Spinelli were having kinky waterfront sex, they would have pulled his arms out of his sockets.
That was a risk Spinelli chose to take. He shouldn't have.
Trying to impress you.
Or you.
Please. Spinelli thinks that you are the coolest guy on the face of the planet. He's constantly trying to impress you by acting way tougher than he actually is, throwing himself into danger.
Yeah, you follow him.
Because I don't want him to get hurt.
What do you think it will do to Spinelli if you get hurt trying to help him? You really need to stop. You're only making things worse. When Spinelli's in danger and you go in after him, you're just telling him that you don't think he can handle it on his own.
So I should wait for Spinelli to be injured or killed?
No, I'm just saying that he does not want you to save him, but you do it anyway.
I respect Spinelli's ambition to be a tough guy, even though I think it's a waste. Spinelli is brilliant. So why not let you be the one to be shot at or run over by a car for some weird reason? I actually think you like it.
Great. Have you told Spinelli this stuff?
Of course. But he's fixated on being just like you. Always wanting to be thrown into danger, having to act so tough. Speaking of, don't you think it's time maybe you show Spinelli some tricks or something?
What do you mean, tricks?
You know, danger dude stuff, like hand-to-hand combat or karate.
I'm not going to teach Spinelli martial arts.
Why not? You're street smart. Spinelli isn't. I mean, you need to give him tools so that he can protect himself.
When did this become about me?
Oh, don't be so egocentric. It's about me. I have to make sure Spinelli's okay. I need him around. I don't know what I would do if he wasn't.
You what?
Spinelli actually believes in me. The only other person who ever did that was Georgie. Georgie was a little more realistic, though. She saw me for the selfish, manipulative bitch that I am, but she loved me anyway because that's what sisters do. I'm sure you know that from Emily.
Yeah.
I never really understood what Georgie saw in Spinelli until she died and I sort of inherited him. Spinelli figured out way too late that Georgie loved him. So he wanted to figure out who killed her. And I did too. That's why I went along with the whole Jackal PI thing, even though all of Spinelli's babbling really drove me crazy.
He is brilliant.
Spinelli is brilliant. I know that. Don't get ahead of me. Along with being brilliant, he's also kind and generous, even to me. He gives me credit for having good ideas. Gives me way more respect than I deserve. And somewhere along the line, I went from being the bad blonde one to Maximista, which, believe it or not, has helped me see myself in a better light. Don't get me wrong, I didn't instantly become a good and noble person, but Spinelli has stood by me. And I just want to be as good to him as he is to me. I know you probably don't believe me. Because you walked in that one time me and Spinelli had sex, and you probably think I'm awful and that I used him.
No,
It doesn't really matter because I feel like I used him, and in typical Spinelli fashion, he didn't get angry.
Because he cares about you. A lot. I mean, Spinelli respects you as a person, and obviously you respect him, too.
It's so much more than that. When he was hit by that car, and I thought that he might die, I don't even know why I'm telling you this. You just think I'm annoying.
No. I'm glad you're here. I need your help. I have to go out again, so I need you to look after Spinelli.
Okay. That's kind of why I'm here.
Okay, good. Stay in his room and just make sure that he's resting comfortably.
This sounds like you trust me. What's the catch?
Don't touch my stuff and quit asking questions.
Oh, okay, so you don't really trust me. That sounds more familiar.
Do we have a deal?
Yes, we have a deal. Thanks, by the way.
For what?
Not kicking me out.
Just doing it for Spinelli.
Well, that makes two of us.